James Bond films have been popular for decades, and there's no doubt they've picked up a few fans along the way. Perhaps no more so than Brad Hanson. Recently, Brad and a group of Bond devotees sat down to watch the entire James Bond movie collection in one sitting. 25 movies over 3 days. They even came up with a rating system to try and answer the age-old question, which Bond film is the best of all time? Brad Hanson joins us from Los Angeles for a chat. Hello there, Brad.
How you doing, Ian? Good to talk to you.
Nice to be talking to you. Greetings from down under. What made you decide to take on the Bond marathon?
Well, basically, it was my girlfriend's birthday, and she's also a huge James Bond fan, so she wanted to do something a little new and different, and neither of us had ever watched them all in order. It's sort of a holy grail for Bond fans to watch all the Bond movies in order, because you see them in a different light. Even if you've seen them individually a million times over like we have, when you see them all in order, you appreciate them in a different way.
So have you always been a fan?
Oh, yeah. Since I was a teenager and I saw Bond in the theaters and, had lots of, cars and guns and women and action and music, I mean, how could I not be a fan?
And what was the first Bond film that you saw? Do you recall?
Yeah, I recall. It was the Tomorrow Never Dies, which was a Pierce Brosnan movie, which it's no longer one of my favorites, but when you're a teenager, it's like the perfect movie because it's just lots of action and lots of fun.
Set the scene for us now about your Bondathon. How many people took part and how did you stage it?
Well, what we did is that we had an open door policy where we had my girlfriend and I were the only ones who were committed to doing every single movie. And then we just kind of invited people, if they wanted to come, they could show up whenever they wanted. We had a schedule, and they could just look online and see, oh, okay, they're showing this movie now, and people would just show up. So all told, we had about 30 people or so who would come in at various times, but a lot of people were there for most of it. If you see the video on YouTube, if you go to Ultimate Bondathon, you can see the video, and you can see people kind of coming and going. But we did our rating system. Everyone just didn't matter if you had saw all of them in a row, or if you never seen any of them, every vote counted equally. It was just whatever you felt like at the time after watching the movie, you can give a rating based on 1 to 10. And then we averaged the results, and that's how we got the answer to the age-old Bond question of which Bond movie is the best and which one we found to be the worst.
And did you get any chance to sleep at all?
A little bit. We had a couple, at the end of each day, we'd have like maybe 3 hours of sleep, but it was not very much. So it felt like nonstop, pretty much.
Now, I suppose we'll start at the bottom. Which came out as the worst of the Bond movies?
It was Man with the Golden Gun, which is a 1974 Roger Moore movie. It was his second. And it just wasn't, it's one of those things where a lot of people like that movie, but when you watch them in order, you just realize that the other movies do the job a lot better. And so it was sort of a disappointment watching that one in order. When you
watched the movies in order as you did you see how the nature of the films changed over the years?
Yeah, it was. I mean, the one cool thing about the Bond series is that it's been going on for almost 50 years now. So you get to see not only changes in costumes and what people wear, you get to hear how the music changes over time. You get to see Bond going from wearing nice Seville Row suits to bell-bottoms to leather jackets in the 80s, and you kind of get to see that whole transition. You also get to see the filmmaking styles itself will change over the years, and it's sort of like a time warp to watch them in order like that.
And who was the worst of the James Bonds?
Oh, yeah. Worst of the James Bonds. Personally, I don't dislike any of them. My personal least favorite is Roger Moore, although there's lots of people who have fans. There tend to be two. It depends on who you ask. Everyone has their favorite. Everyone has their least favorite. In general, there's two camps of people. The people who like their James Bond to be very unflappable and just very charming, and then the other half who likes him to be more like the books, where he tends to be more angry and surly, and he drinks, and he's not really unflappable. He's very much a person who is not perfect. And those people, like me, tend to like Daniel Craig, Connery, Dalton. And then the people who tend to like the more suave James Bond, my girlfriend is a good example of this. She likes like Roger Moore and Pierce Brosnan. And there's no right answer. I think all the actors did a great job. I think the Australian Lazenby did an excellent job, actually. I think everyone rates him at the bottom, and when you watch him in order, he actually did a really good job.
What about Sean Connery? It must be something to do with age, because he was the first one that I saw, and I always thought he was the best.
He's my personal favorite. He's definitely set the tone for all the people to follow. Like he's the yardstick by which everyone is measured.
And which of the movies came out as the best in your voting system?
As it turned out, Goldfinger was the best, which is a Sean Connery classic. It's the only one where every single person who watched it gave it a perfect 10. And I was very happy with that, because that's definitely one of my favorites, too.
The music had a lot to do with the success of these, don't you think? Because even though it changed over the years, that John Barry theme and that menacing quality to it did really play up in all the movies, didn't it?
Yeah, the music is, even the Bond movies that aren't very good, almost all of them have great music, and that's always been a very crucial part of the series, and it's a big reason why I like the series so much, is that the music has always been really top rate. Did
you do the catering for all of these people coming around to your place?
Well, we just ordered in. We'd deliver a lot of Chinese, a lot of fast food. We'd order a lot of pizza.
And, will you be going out to have a look at another James Bond movie for a while, or are you bonded out for the time being?
I just watched another one yesterday, so no. It turns out that I could probably watch Bond movies forever and still be happy with it.
It sounds like you're a beggar for punishment, Brad. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
See you later. Brad Hanson talking to us from Los Angeles. And he and his mates, having seen all 25 Bond movies, voted Goldfinger as the best of all time, scoring a perfect 10.